You won't believe it, but we're about to use this log to make a powerful and unusual two-roller slingshot that destroys everything in its path. Well, almost everything. First, we need to give the log a quadrangular shape by removing all the cracks on the edges. Do you remember the axe that we restored earlier? It has already been through a lot since that time. We bring it to the crack and use a rubber hammer to break the excess away. Next, we need to shorten the log to about 20 centimeters. It's impossible to do it without a wood saw. As a result, we get such a bar. Next, we draw an approximate layout of our slingshot into projections and use scissors to cut one of them. Put some paper glue on the finger and glue one of them to the bar. Oh, we have a lot of material to remove. And then, for the first time in my life, I picked up a chisel, which helps us remove most of the excess material and give the slingshot its primary outline. The chisel should be placed against the wood with its tip, and the other side should be hit with a rubber mallet. The tip cuts into the wood and breaks off a piece of it. Still, the process wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be, so I decided to take a saw and make one cut near the edge. We then tried to do it with a chisel, and look how easily the piece fell off. We made a lot of these cuts and had to spend a few hours on painstakingly chiseling and removing unnecessary material. To be honest, at that time, I had no idea of the total work we would have to perform to get this finished. However, we got used to the difficulties, and after half a day we got this figure. It was decided to stop the work in this projection, and having attached the other part of the drawing, we outline its contours in order to continue the work in the other direction. Since the workpiece has become much thinner, we can use wood drill bits. Using them, we have to make a lot of these holes around the perimeter of the outlines, but without going over them. This is quite a labor-intensive task, but the result is immediate. Just look how well the unnecessary pieces of wood fell off. As a consequence, we have such a workpiece, remotely resembling anything but a slingshot. We slightly adjust the irregularities on the backside and move on to the next step, during which we process the workpiece with a coarse wood rasp for a very long time. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes. Then the thinner file is used, and at the end of the day we get such a nice figure. Now it is necessary to draw the outline of a hole through which the shell will fly. And by using familiar methods of drilling, we make holes along the line. We remove the inner part and it's already resembling a slingshot. Don't forget that we are making not a usual slingshot, but a roller one. We smooth out all the irregularities and then mark out the holes to place our rollers. We drill out the main part of the material in these places with a drill bit. Then we could work with the same chisel, but to avoid splitting the wood in these delicate places, we used a drilling machine, and then a small file. This is the result of our work. At the bottom of the slingshot, we saw a lot of cracks that must be removed. So we poured some wood glue into a beaker, diluted it with a few drops of water, and stirred well. Next we take a syringe with a needle and put the glue inside it. Now insert the needle into each crack and fill them with glue. This is a great trick for healing cracks in the wood. Additionally, rub the glue into the wood with your finger. We use a clamp to squeeze them together so the cracks are glued and cease to exist. The excess glue has come out, and that is a good sign. Next we need an ordinary broom, or rather a stick from it, and even more precisely a small piece of this stick, which we cut with a straw. After cutting, we have obtained such small washers. which later will be placed in these holes. We take a 4mm drill and drill holes inside the circles. Put them on some metal rod and fasten them in the screwdriver. Using the screwdriver and the chisel, we reduce the circle to a suitable size. Then we make a groove in the wheel with a small cutter made of an ordinary nail. It took us 2 hours and many attempts to finally get the suitable rollers. Using a drill, make holes to attach the rollers. Now it is necessary to use sandpaper to finally smooth the entire surface before applying the finish coat. Next, we mark and use the drill to make 2 holes in the legs of the slingshot. It may seem strange, but that is where the ends of the shooting rubber band will be attached. It's time to paint our craft with a special brown pigmented oil. Thoroughly coat the entire surface of the slingshot to give it color and add some moisture protection. We leave it to dry in the sun and cover the rollers with ordinary linseed oil. Now we need to cut out such a strip from a small piece of skin from the butt of a dragon. Using this special tool, we make a hole in each side. It should look like this. Then we bought 2 special rubber bands for professional slingshots. They are thin but powerful enough at the same time. We put them through a strip of the leather and with the help of a thread folded several times, we fix them in place. Cut off the excess and check the strength. Now insert the roller into the opening and fix it in there with a piece of an ordinary stick. Check if the roller rotates fine. Then cut off an extra piece of the stick. We put the ends of the rubber bands through the holes with the rollers and then through the bottom part of the handle, so that they come out on the other side. Now take a small twig, sharpen its tip, put a rubber band inside, tighten it, and our slingshot is ready. You have no idea how much time and effort it took to cut this product out of a large log. The advantage of the roller slingshot over a usual one is that in the area after the rollers we get additional space for stretching the rubber band. Its length of stretching increases and accordingly its power increases by about 30% compared to the classic design. Now it's time to test and we'll shoot these metal balls. First, we try to shoot a tomato. The small ones are penetrated without any problems, even after the bullet has ricocheted off of the tree. The big tomato is also pierced through. Now let's test the strength of an ordinary egg. The slingshot handles it easily, and the egg explodes as if a firecracker was inside it. Now we'll see if the slingshot can damage a metal can of cola. The first shot was tangential, but even that was enough power to penetrate. Let's try again. The second shot shows us its power in all its glory. What a powerful thing this is! The ball flies with tremendous speed and energy. They pierce through the can, leaving a small entrance hole and a huge tear on the other side. As a result, we have a very cool, unusual and powerful slingshot. But be sure not to shoot at your friends, otherwise they might get hurt.